Well, good afternoon. We do have, it seems to me there's a paradox, a profound paradox at the very center of the whole spiritual endeavor. And the paradox is simply this, that this drive, however one experiences it, however you feel it, towards freedom or God or liberation, however you think about it inside of yourself, that condition that we seek is an already existing condition. It's already existing. And even though it's already existing, we seek it. And our seeking obscures it. Not just spiritual seeking, every kind of seeking. So it's sort of a paradox that everything that we're really ultimately looking for is an already existing condition. In other words, freedom is an already existing condition. As long as we're striving for freedom, especially as long as we're trying to perfect ourselves as a way to attain freedom, we're actually involved in a process of denying the freedom that's pre-existing, that's already and always there. And yet it doesn't do much good to simply assert that the state that we're seeking is already there. It's fine if we already know that. It's rather useless if we don't know it, to just assert it to ourselves over and over again. Because then it becomes some sort of mantra that we're trying to convince ourselves of. And if the sense, the feel of a separate self is anything at all, it's the feeling of desiring, wanting something, perhaps everything. But the desire of wanting. Just imagine what becomes of you if you didn't want. Can you even imagine yourself without any wants at all? I'm not saying you should be in a state of not wanting. I'm not suggesting that anybody should try to be in that state at all, because that would just be something more that you want. I want to be in that state where I don't want. The paradox is sort of bound everywhere. It's like oranges on an orange tree. The closer we get to truth, the more paradoxes there seems to be. And of course, what sustains this constant state of wanting is the idea, the belief that we can get somehow, somewhere, someday, what we want. And even more than that, that when we get it, it will make us happy, finally, forever. And it is kind of laughable, isn't it, if you kind of look at it, Especially since, as far as I can tell, almost everybody in this room, if not everybody in this room, has been around at least a couple of decades. Most of us have been around from 3 to 8 decades. And you can't be around very long in life before you start to recognize, although we try very hard not to recognize, the fact that simply getting what we want doesn't necessarily make us happy. Go home after this talk, look around your house or your apartment at all the things that you wanted, that you got. Much less all the junk that you've thrown away over all the years, that each piece of that junk was part of what you wanted. You know, that thing that you put in the trash can, you once wanted that, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting. If wanting and a desire disappeared, there would be nothing to sustain the whole physical universe. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not preaching the idea that people shouldn't want, you know, shouldn't desire. You are here because of an act of desire. Hopefully a satisfactory act of desire. Without that, none of us are here. You know, without wanting to be warm, we don't come out from the cold. And so it goes.